All right, so we've done our cleansing and prayers and everything else that we do to get ready for a reading. So I'm just going through and kind of fixing some of the cards because they look like some of them are upside down. All right, so I'm gonna do a little shuffle and we're gonna be using 2 decks today for you, just to give it a little bit of variety. Next deck. All right. So are my needs, what I wrote, and burns on the bay leaf being manifested, and when do you see them starting to happen? So we're going to ask more than one question. It's not going to just be that. We're also going to ask if they are not, then what do you need to do to make sure that they do manifest? I went ahead and repositioned my camera again just so that I can make sure everything is in the screen once I am drawing your cards. Doing another shuffle, and then we're going to go ahead and pull your cards. All right, so for the first question, we've got that card. You know, you want to know if they're being manifested. And let's see. Yeah, I'm feeling another one. That one. That one. Okay. So we're going to flip these first, and then we're going to flip, and then we're going to pull another set from the other deck. We're going to start with this one, the Queen of Wands. Child, please. This means yes. This is like Queen of Wands is, from my perspective, like the mother of manifestations. It is. I mean, look at the giant staff she's holding, which is a big wand. Then look at the black cat down at her feet, which talks about having guides, spirit guides. The sunflower that she's holding in her hand. All of this is a positive omen. This is a resounding yes. That is an absolutely yes. So let's flip the next card to see. So you got the Empress. This is another very magical card in terms of when it comes down to manifestation. So the Empress is actually pregnant, and what that means, like, so in her depiction she's pregnant, and what that means for you, what I think that means, is you are pregnant with the things that you want to manifest. So let's put that a little differently. When a seed is planted, the next day it doesn't just bear fruit. It has to go through a gestation period where the roots sprung or spring. It produces a shoot that produces a stalk that produces leaves that feeds the seed until it grows into a tree that is able to bear fruit. So this is another resounding yes. And I am actually quite excited about your journey, because like, I'm going to look back on this one day when you have arrived at that place where you are working to manifest. And I'm going to say, boy, you know, he did that. He did that. And then you have the angels on your side as well, helping you with your situation. You have your guides helping you. And I know that from previous readings that we've done. All right. So before I move on to this card, let me just sit for a moment because I'm feeling I need not to flip this yet. Focus on your crown chakra. That's very important. So I'm not sure what's going on with you, but your crown chakra might be being dulled or dimmed, or having your crown chakra needs some attention. So that's standing out for me in this card for you. Again, you can look at the Empress. Notice she's holding a scepter of some sort in her hand, which is also talking about magic and being able to manifest. So that is pretty awesome. Another thing we look at with the Empress card here is the fact that she's surrounded by wheat, and wheat is symbolic of prosperity and crops manifesting. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and flip your third card, which is, I mean, wow. These are all pretty much saying the same thing. So the Seven of Pentacles is a card that pretty much talks about somebody who has planted seeds and you're tending to that and you're watching that develop and manifest. So the fact that the Empress card also shows up and we know she is pregnant, and I had just talked to you about how seeds grow through a gestation period where, they have to spring roots and they have to be nurtured. We ended up getting the Seven of Pentacles that is saying the exact same thing. So this is hyper confirmation for me. Yes, they are. When do you see them coming? I'm going to pull a card from the next deck to kind of answer that question. But I just did want to talk a little bit more about your responsibility for your spiritual life. So you are doing a lot of manifestation, and I know from prior readings that is related to the fact that you have a very willful soul. You manifest based off of pure faith alone, and it works for you. It works for you a whole lot. But the crown chakra was pointed out to me, and this tells me that the state of your spirituality is not exactly grounded. Like, it's almost like you are halfway in and halfway confused. So I want to encourage you to do meditations that help to unblock your crown chakra. I think that means that you will go to a higher level. You will gain a higher degree of grounding, a higher degree of faith, and all of that will aid to you being able to manifest even more, even though you already operate in a very high degree of manifestation. The capability to manifest is very good with you. All right, so the crown chakra was pointed out, but this is still saying seed time, harvest time. So it's going to be a period. That's just the way it's working right now. And again, I believe the fact that your guides are allowing there to be a period where you have to nurture it, you have to tend to it. I think they're doing that to help you to get closer, or a stronger spirituality, like a stronger bond with your guides. So I think also that might have come up in another reading before too, where they did say they weren't going to just put it in your lap. They don't think that that's going to be to your advantage if they just put it in your lap. It's more about helping you to be stronger by teaching you certain things, certain principles, and that's going to prove to be exceedingly valuable in later on in your life. So we're going to pull another card from the additional deck to just get an idea of when we see that coming to pass. Even though I already feel like the fact that the Seven of Pentacles has come, that is to tell us that it's going to not necessarily be a long period of time, but the effort and energy you put into nurturing it, that's going to directly reflect the time frame that it takes for it to fully manifest. Now, another thing we need to recognize here in this, you see the crops are pretty large already. So I feel like that it's not saying that it's going to be like a really long time. We also see in the Empress card that the crops, the wheat has already turned ripe. You know what I mean? So expect that. It's not going to be, I don't feel like it's going to be a long time, but the amount of time it's going to take is going to be directly related to the effort you put into in nurturing those things that you want to see manifested. So now we're going to go ahead. I've already shuffled this deck, and we're going to go ahead and pick the next card that's going to give us an indication of how long, just some time. All right, so I'm feeling a couple of cards actually. So we're gonna go with that one. That's what it feels like. I may pick another card. We'll see what happens. So we might pick one more card just as a clarifier if I'm not sure or not clear on this one. And a second card we're gonna pull. All right, so let's talk about, I know this is a question pertaining to the time frame, but we're going to go ahead and talk about what the Six of Swords sort of represents. Number one of the things, and I think it is going to spring or read very true for you is you're being guided by your spirit guides. All right. So yes, we mentioned that, but this feels like a release will come once they see you are in the place spiritually. Remember, we talked about the Empress card and the crown chakra. You're going to get more of a release once you've gotten to the place that they think you need to be. Again, nothing will come before its time. And that's how I feel about what the Six of Swords is saying for you. So I feel like better days are ahead, because the Six of Swords also represents moving from a very bad period where you are healing and transitioning into a better existence, so a better life. So it's, again, I feel saying that it's heavily related to, you know, your ability to continue to nurture and manifest it. So that is going, the time frame is going to be related or connected, like I said, to your ability to get these things manifested. So it's going to be on your plate, essentially, is what I'm saying. So this is a good omen as well. Better days are ahead. That's what that says. All right. Now, an additional card we pulled for you as a clarifier is the Eight of Cups. So what I feel like the Eight of Cups is saying, be careful where you put your attention. If you focus your attention on things going the way you want it to go, it's going to continue to go that way. The Eight of Cups is one of those cards where it's not regret, it is accepting, coming to terms with things, accepting what things are and deciding to move on from a period or a situation that no longer serves you. So I feel like this is going to talk about your mental state. The quicker you adjust, and again, I think that is also related to the crown chakra, the quicker you adjust, I guess your ability to, or the quicker you adjust where you focus when things are going right or wrong for you, the quicker you will get things flowing in the direction that you want them to. So let me say that differently. If things are going great, stay focused on the things that are going great. But if they're not, you don't waste time wallowing in what isn't, what hasn't. That's not your business. That has nothing to do with you. Focus on where you want your attention to go. All right, so be mindful of that. So I see these two very connected. And then I see, well, this very connected with the Queen of Wands, because I mentioned earlier about you having your guides. But I feel like it's not going to be a super long period of time. I do have faith. I do know you've been manifesting really, really well recently. And I think that trend is going to continue for you. All right, so this will end your reading. Thank you so much again for choosing to work with me. I always appreciate that. And yeah, I look forward to hearing back from you, and more blessings on your manifestations.